Here's my assignment 3 reflection. The group I was in was social learning, and my main focuses were professional development, kind of along with technology integration into the classroom. So what did I learn from this assignment? This was a wonderful assignment, especially being in the groups, kind of being able to collaborate there and see other people's ideas was really beneficial. And every day when I go back and check in our Google Plus community, I keep finding out more and more information that I can also apply to my own classroom. But from my own personal research, I learned quite a bit. Like I said, I was focusing on kind of more of the professional development and along with, helping other teachers integrate technology into their classroom. So when I started this project, I thought my main focus would be Twitter and Google Plus, and just how teachers could use those kind of for their own PLNs, something that's a little bit more convenient at your own time to get to. So that was kind of where I started, and I just made a couple of intro Google presentations that I plan to share with my staff. I usually will do a few times a month some tech sessions after school in which teachers come and learn about different technologies they can use for themselves in their professional lives or in their classrooms. So Twitter and Google Plus will probably be my first focuses for this school year. And along with Google Plus, I went ahead and created in my school's domain a Google Plus community called All Things Tech. I'm on my tech committee, and for the past several years we've been brainstorming, trying to figure out ways where we could post things for teachers to just kind of have for a resource. And so I finally thought, I'm comfortable enough with Google Plus now. I think this might be our go-to. So I'll just show you here what I have set up for that. And so I've kind of, for my topics, kind of chosen things that either I've done trainings on, things that I know my staff struggle with, and I've just mainly found some resource videos right now. A lot of the videos I've created before for previous training sessions. So as you can see here, I have Chrome browser, GoGuardian for Teachers, which is what we use to monitor our Chromebooks, just basic Google information, IXL, which we are starting to implement next year. Second semester here we kind of did a trial, but now really getting the staff to use it, help it correlate with standards, either using it for additional homework or, a check to see are the students getting things. So I think this will be a key thing for us. JMC is our school information system, and we just always seem to have some struggles with it. It just has its own little quirks. So I've made several how-to videos for those things that we only have to do once a year and then we forget how to do it. So this will just be a great resource for staff members in that aspect. Then Kahoot. I'm sure most of you have probably heard of this, but just kind of an interactive game. I use it a lot for reviews or kind of a pre-test to see how much my students know. Then in my district we also have Mimeo whiteboards and similar to a smartboard, and so just kind of some trainings on this. They have a lot of different aspects to it with a document camera and Vimeo mobile, and this is something that all staff members are expected to use on a regular basis. Then something new for my district next year is Schoology. So this is probably going to be my main focus over the summer, is finding lots of how-to videos, tips for teachers, trying to really make it easy for them. One of my biggest worries is us actually getting that integrated into school next year, because our district is hoping to use this K through 12, and we're not going to do any training on it until the day before staff members are due back. And our superintendent, I think, is planned to just bring in 5 teachers. And then I don't know if he plans to give us some time then to train the rest of the staff on one of our 2 work days, but as we all know, that's just really short notice to get something up and going. And I'm really fearing that some of our more reluctant technology staff aren't going to jump on board because they're not going to really have the time to devote to it. So I'm hoping this will help, and I'm also planning to kind of put together some handouts or things in Google Docs this summer so they do kind of have time to look that over before we dive right in to school. Then I have a tech help page, in which I'm hoping teachers will just be able to post any technology questions that they have, so that either another staff member might be able to answer it, or I also have a PC support class. So I'm hoping this will kind of allow them to get some of that kind of customer service relations where they have to solve problems, find it in a way that the teacher will understand how to fix the issue, videos, things like that. And then lastly, I have a area for things dealing with YouTube. We've just recently unblocked YouTube, and I know a lot of our teachers absolutely love it. So just finding ways to better integrate it into their classroom, creating playlists and things like that. So that's kind of another one of my main things that I plan here to kind of go along with Google+. So then as I was doing my research and just kept thinking, and I really tried to stay narrowed and focused, but I really want my staff members, especially when it comes to professional development, to be able to choose something that's going to work for them. So I also found a lot of great Pinterest articles. I know I couldn't live without Pinterest for ideas in my classroom. And another idea I'd been tossing around was kind of gamifying our professional development. So those are some other things that I also posted within my group's Google Plus community, just because I think it's so valuable, and I'm really kind of going for the find what works for you method. So I want my staff members to have plenty of opportunities and choices to find what they really like and what's going to help improve themselves as teachers. So that's kind of what I learned from my research. And then some of my other group members, very valuable, like I said, got lots of great ideas. So one group member kind of focused on Google Classroom, and I've been using Google Classroom since it came out. And so there's a lot of things that I feel like I'm really an expert with, but as we all know, Google's always making changes. This teacher also found some great articles for other ways to kind of incorporate Google Classroom, things I hadn't thought of. So I was still, learning and getting some new ideas. A couple other teachers really kind of talked about iPad apps and things like that. Kind of being a tech kind of leader in my school, I'm often also looking for iPad apps because there's so many valuable ones out there. So I just really enjoyed looking through this list and also being able to give my input for iPad apps that I know some of my teachers really like. And another person in my social learning group talked about employee training. And this definitely applies to kind of my situation, even though I'm the business teacher. Like I said, I do a lot of tech trainings. So finding how do you find that perfect fit to train them, making it work for them. Like I said, I'm really trying to rethink how I do my tech trainings. And so this was a really good resource for me to get some other ideas and see what's out there just, for kind of the general public, not necessarily the educational setting, but what are outside, companies trying to do to train their employees. So then my takeaways. My first takeaway is really that Google Plus community. Like I said, I've taken enough classes now with my master's that I really feel comfortable with it. I am a part of a lot of really amazing Google Plus communities that I don't think I could live without. I mean, I ask questions, get answers almost immediately. So I think it's really going to be something valuable for my staff members. So hopefully getting them trained here, within a couple weeks of school starting and getting them on board, and that they'll really find it'll be a great resource as well. And then, like I mentioned when I showed my Google Plus community here, is that I'm hoping it will start to play a role in my PC support class. A lot of times, the situations teachers have aren't always appropriate for those students to go and take care of, but they really need to kind of learn that customer service side of things, thinking outside the box, maybe finding multiple ways to solve that issue. So I'm hoping that this will also be a good place for them to kind of get some of that practice, and that they also will be able to find, how-to videos to put in some of those categories. And that just helps make them a resource within that classroom for teachers when they know that I have these students in my class and they're kind of also working to help technology be successful in the classroom. So I'm really hoping that this will be just a positive thing for both teachers and the students in my PC support class. And my second takeaway, even though it wasn't one of my main focuses, was really the gamifying professional development. I found a really awesome article on kind of how do you set that up. A school that had everything already in place. They had made a Google site. They had, I don't know, maybe about 6 different kind of topics for teachers to, earn their badges in. So I'm hoping to model my way for this professional development off of them. And my first focus for this school year will really be on the Schoology, since it'll be brand new, rolling it out just a couple days before school starts, and just getting everybody to be on that same page and find out how it will work for them in their classroom. But along with this, I'm really struggling to find out how am I going to get my staff to buy into this. Like I've mentioned before, I know we're all short on time, so I'm hoping kind of giving them more freedom where they can just do things on their own time and still prove that they've done this professional development will get them kind of on board with things. And then also just making it easy for those who are reluctant with technology. I know the sample site that I looked at, you could do things online, and they did offer the opportunity to do face-to-face sessions, which that's been my go-to before. But we have a smaller staff. We only have a staff of probably K through 12, maybe 30 teachers, 40 at the most. So that might be something more complicated, to work in, especially if it's only 1 or 2 teachers that want it. But I'm hoping that we can make it pretty easy, that they'll find no problems with these, even if they're a little bit more reluctant with technology. So these are my takeaways and the things that I've really gained from this assignment. And like I said, this has been a great resource to have here, and something that I will hopefully continue to look at as my school year starts.